Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Saturday, the 3rd of August. Well, very quickly before I go into it, there will be football selections next weekend. It is the start, I believe, of the championship and, the EFL. So let me get on to Saturday's horse racing. Well, it's a really interesting set of cards. Um, I've had several bets. I can't remember how much it comes to exactly, but this first bet, £6.30. I've had several bets. I shall talk you through them, tell you why I've done them, but I'm not going to go into detail with the horses. What I will say is the vast majority of horses that I have picked for Saturday either want the ground fast when others don't, or the more fancied others don't. The horses are very well handicapped, or I think there's more room for improvement, and that covers all bases really. Why people fancy horses, but I'm going to go into a little bit about every horse, but only like literally a sentence. So let me get into it. So the first bet is a 5 pence each way, lucky 63. These are basically bigger price horses that I think have got a sneak. They have been underestimated by either the handicapper or the bookmaker, or both. So the first selection is Knightswood. I've left the price in the 225 at Goodwood, paying five places instead of three. I think it's got every chance. Charlie Johnson has also got another more fancied horse in the race, but they're paying first five. Therefore, I think we could get a decent price about this one. And if they go off too quick, this horse could mop up at least a place. The second selection is Grateful. Left the price in the 3 o'clock at Goodwood. It's the Lily Langtry Stakes paying four places instead of three. There are so many horses in this race that are rated much higher, higher than this horse. However, this horse, because it's a 3-year-old, it's receiving quite a lot of weight, but also it's an unknown quantity. Unknown quantity? Yeah, we'll go for that. Unknown quantity. So it's not doing a great deal, especially when it hits the front. It's like slamming the handbrake on. So I think this horse, basically, at the moment, hasn't got a clue what it's doing, but it's talented. It is bred to want quick ground. There are so many horses in this race that have shown the best form so far on on good to soft or slower ground, and it unless they chuck a bucket full of water. Sorry, I mean loads of water, not just a bucket full, a load of water at Goodwood tonight, and it makes it good ground and no quicker than that, which I don't think they'll do. There's so many horses, in my opinion, that will get ground that they do not want, and I didn't read the news as in like the Racing Post news, but I'm guessing all the non-runners were because of the lightning quick ground. I'm guessing it's going to be the same again. The third selection is an outsider in the Stewards Cup. This horse, so the horse is number 27, Dare to Hope, in the 335 at Goodwood, paying eight places instead of four in the Stewards Cup. This isn't my main fancy, but I do definitely think it's a dark horse. Um, my only concern with this horse is that they could be getting this horse ready for a tilt to either the Air Silver Cup or the Air Gold Cup, and this could be a prep run for it. But this horse absolutely flies at the finish. So my concern is if they blast this one towards the front and it forces the pace, they are not trying today. Also, if it's unlucky in running or something like that, let's keep his eyes massively wide open for the air meeting, which is what's that September next month. And they're not excuses; they are reasons. This horse is ridiculously, in my opinion, well handicapped, and it's ready to run well. It's roughly about 28s or 33s. The fourth selection is Cuban Tiger. Left the price in the 10 past four at Goodwood, paying five places instead of three. This horse wants quick ground. It's Carl Burke, I think he's had a few winners anyway. I won't say. I mean, I know he's definitely had one on Friday. It was a 2-year-old. Cuban Tiger, it will appreciate quick ground where a lot of them won't. It's drawn relatively low, and I think it's got a good chance. The next selection is Methgal. Left the price in the 445 at Goodwood, paying four places instead of three. It's a Colbert 2-year-old. Um, it got a racing post rating of, I think it was 74. I don't think too much was expected on its debut, so I think it surprised people, and maybe it's come on massively again. I don't know, but Methgal, I think it was about 14s in the Racing Post. I think it's got a decent chance. It's not sending it here for nothing. And finally, Kingsley Pride in the 5 past 5 at Thirsk. So this horse is related to, I think it's called Poet's Ward by Charlie, trained by Mark Johnson or Charlie Johnson. I think it got a racing post rating of 125 or 129. This horse has been messed around with. I think this horse will appreciate the quicker ground, and I think it could be gradually coming to hand now. It's a huge price, and in fact, it's the outside of the lot in the race, so that tells you everything that it's shown so far. But I think it could outrun its price, and it needs to run a place, in my opinion. It's also the last runner of that bet, so we could be a bit nervous by the end of that bet, or come 5 past 5. So the next bet is it's a 45 pence each way patent, and I've also had a 35 pence each way treble just to top it up. So it's £7 this particular bet is. So I think what we've done states at about £13 something so far. So these are all horses, in my opinion, that are very well handicapped. It basically, in my opinion, it's does the trainer want them to win this day, or are they being targeted for something else? These horses are ridiculously well handicapped. So the first selection is Rock of England at SP in the 320 at Thirsk. Well handicapped, trained by Ed Bethel, I think last year. Now trained by Paul Midgley. It's gone through the normal routine. It does nothing for its first few runs, plummets down the handicap, and now it starts tasting a bit of form. As in, like its last run was much better. And that's how Paul Midgley runs his horses. They do nothing when he first gets them for a very long time. They drop about £20 in the handicap. All of a sudden, they go on a winning spree. Run This Way is probably a typical one of them. So that also is Rock of England. The next selection is Quest for Fun in the 355 at Thirsk. Timmy's to be, I believe, well handicapped, expected to run well. You're only about 4-1. That's pretty much why I've left it. The previous one, Rock of England, is also 5-1. So we're not getting too carried away with the prices. And James McHenry, I've left the price in the 430 at Thirst, paying four places instead of three. I don't think there's too much rain forecast at Thirst tonight. There's the odd shower overnight. It's currently good ground. I think it'll get a lot quicker. The sun's out tomorrow at Thirsk, and I do believe that it needs to be good to firm for this horse to run to its best. It doesn't want soft ground, which I don't think it'll get, but it's fine with good. I think it'll probably be good to firm in places at Thirst tomorrow. That'll suit this horse. It's third in the hand, not in the handicap. It's third in the betting, roughly about 8-1 in this moment in time. And I think it's got a good chance. I am a big fan of Ed Bethel anyway. So there's the trouble I was talking about. So the next bet is, so I'm going to close that because it doesn't mean too much at the moment. So it wouldn't be a Stewards Cup without some big prices threatening the places. Right. I'll be honest. The horse you can see now, Billy Joe, was my nap of all naps. However, I am concerned about the draw. I do believe you need to be drawn in the middle, but I did see them coming across to the high numbers on the sprint course. So we don't know if they're going to put any water down. So I can't tell you there's going to be a draw advantage. So I'm clueless when it comes to that. Originally, I fancied high numbers at the beginning of the week, and it didn't prove fruitful. But they are gradually edging over from the middle to this. I don't know if you call it the near side or far side. They're heading over from middle numbers slightly towards the high numbers. So, but this horse has drawn three. So what I've done is I've gone for horses that I like the look of, that I think are well handicapped, or it's a trainer that has been doing well in these big handicaps. So as you can see, I've gone for 26 pence each way doubles. 10 pence each way trebles, and I've targeted 3 races. So, so the first race is the Stewards Cup. I've gone for 4 horses in there, and the 4 horses in the 335 at Goodwood, the Stewards Cup, paying 8 places instead of 4, are Billy Joe at 17-2. I've took the price because I think it could be short than that, because don't forget, Mick Appleby has been doing very well with his sprinters. The other selections are 7 Questions, trained by George Scott. He's got another one in the race, so you can guess what's going to happen. Ferris, trained by Jack Shannon, having a cracking first couple of seasons, and Dare to Hope once again. So the next bet, or the next selection, is in the 10 past 4, and this is by itself, Cuban Tiger. So if we have the winner of the Stewards Cup, we could still get a return, even though we've gone doubles and up, well, doubles and trebles, because as you can see now, peeking into the frame is Dutch Decoy. That could be a non-runner. So all of a sudden you get a few 28p each way singles. Long story. I'm getting confusing now. So anyway, Cuban Tiger, it's 11-1 in the 10 past 4 at Goodwood, is the only runner in that race that I've gone for, paying 5 places instead of 3. So what I've gone for in this final race is the 520 at Goodwood. I've gone for Dutch Decoy at 13-2, because we actually backed that, didn't we, on Friday? In my opinion, it was unlucky. It was definitely not a non-trier, but it had an easy race. There's no reason why it couldn't run tomorrow, Saturday. 13-2, 13-2 could be a colossal price come post time, or race time, should I say? But I've gone for 2 huge outsiders, because if Dutch Decoy is a non-runner, we could get some returns back anyway, because it'll class as getting part of a double up, or even if Cuban Tiger comes placed or wins, part of a treble up. So I've gone for 2 huge outsiders because I think they've got chances. Tahitian Prince as well, handicapped, Sanitizer, and Petrified of this one, because it's Josh and Gary Moore. Well, it was quite highly rated for Paul Cole, I think it was. And this horse does not handle soft ground. Its most recent run, I'm going back a bit as well, for Josh and Gary Moore, is on soft ground. I think, don't quote me, I think it might have been over this course, Goodwood. But it doesn't matter. It's done nothing on soft so far. I can see that being an excuse. It's been hurdling, but I'm trying to think what they could be saying after the race if it runs well or if it wins. It's currently about 40-1. Sanitizer is. And I'm thinking this horse is really easy to get fit at home. It's been hurdling. It ran okay hurdling. It ran on soft ground on its most recent flat run. They can say it hated the soft ground because it's hated it before. It loves fast ground. And I do believe it's ran at Goodwood in the past in the 90s, or rated in the 90s. It's only rated, well, I say it's only. It's not massively dropped in the ratings. I think it's 80 something now. But it's Josh and Gary Moore. We've not heard too much about them at Goodwood. They do tend to do well at Goodwood and Epsom. Now's your chance to shine. So that's the final selection of the day. So there's loads and loads of big prices. We need a bit of luck on our side. So if you are still here, I appreciate everybody saying congratulations. Let's have something else now. Let's have a bit of luck, or bit of luck in the comments now. If you type something like fingers crossed or a bit of luck for tomorrow, I'd really appreciate it. It shows you've hung on this far. I'm really rabbiting now. I'm probably about 10, 12 minutes in. So I really appreciate every single comment that's been on Friday. We did show a profit. We had a 14-1 place and a 22-1 place, 22-1 place, I think it was. I think it was 10. What was it? £10 staked, and I think it was £36 return. So I'd already got a tenner in my account, and I had 46 when I logged in. So I really appreciate everybody. Maybe all the comments was that little bit of luck that we needed. So anyway, I'm now talking just for the sake of it. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.